Alright legends, I like to have a visual reference when I'm making videos where I'm making a point. So let's get into another little chat about painkillers. Alright, I'm kind of gutted here because I was hoping to use this old house as a representation of how I felt on the painkillers, but they've started to tear it down. That's what's left of it. So if I can find some footage of it in the archives, I'll stick it up here right now for you to check it out. But just wanted to talk about the mindset you'll be in if you're in a similar boat to what I was with the whole painkiller thing. It is one of these things that takes you right out of the game, and for me a lot of it was lost time, believe it or not. It's just days started to blend into days, months started to blend into months, and years just started blending into years. It is absolute insanity, the amount of stuff I wanted to do 15, 20 years ago. I'm standing here today, I'm still pretty much at square one. I haven't got my act together, I haven't got to where I want to be, and a big part of that was the whole painkiller thing. It is insane. Now, it affects everybody in a lot of different ways. Now, I'm not going to stand here and get preachy and tell you that I know everything about the situation. I don't. I fully understand that. There's people on the planet in far worse condition than I am when it comes to this stuff. But I've been there. I've been through it. A lot of years got lost because I was just not off my trolley all the time. I was brought up to believe that, you need to get out there and earn a living instead of sitting in your ass letting the government pay for everything. That's the way I was brought up. So even with the back injury, I was intent on getting up every morning, going to work. If I could, I had to take time off. I couldn't help it at times. If I damaged myself to a certain extent where, it got to the point when it was really bad that I couldn't even drive my car. When the back kicks off with me, and this is a problem I'm always going to have, I'm handling it a lot better now through exercise, thanks to Empowered Fitness here in Northern Ireland. Mel Gibson, check them guys out on Facebook and whatnot, Instagram, major help. I was told that one of the last times I was at the doctor's, they just kept upping the prescription every time, and I'd keep going back to work. And every time I'd hurt my back, I was doing it through a higher dosage of medication. That's not good. And one of the last times I went to the doctors, I could hold one of the old school doctors, these guys from back in the 70s, and not to slag off the whole system, but the newer doctors, this newer generation, almost seems like a production line. It's almost like, you come in there, something's wrong with you, they get you dosed up, prescription on the go, and they get you out of there as quick as you can. Most of my appointments didn't last more than 3 minutes with these newer doctors. This old school doctor sat me down, actually got into my records, checked out the MRI scan I got done, and checked my medical condition and my physical condition, because at that point I was at least 3 stone heavier than I am right now before I started exercising on a regular basis. He told me then, and I don't believe I've actually ever told anybody this, but he's like, if you don't do something soon, get the weight off, exercise, all that sort of stuff, you're looking at a future, if not in a wheelchair, you're definitely going to be on crutches. You're going to need some form of help to walk, to stand up. If you don't sit down, if you don't get off your backside and do something about this now. So that was the big turnaround point. Went to Empowered Fitness, got signed up, started exercising 3 times a week, and eating better, getting the weight off, building the core muscles. Like 10 years ago, if I was trying to get out of a chair, it would just be like, the old people, the old guys that are just like never to sit down or get up. It's just like, groaning and getting on. That was me. Old before my time. That's not good. Again, this affects people in a lot of different ways. You can check it up online. I'm not going to get into the details of it here. I checked up some of the information last night and symptoms and what to look out for. And again, I'm not an expert. There's a lot of people far worse off than I am. I was able to keep working for the most part throughout this, bar the sick time I had to take just because of the left leg going out of the back takes out the left leg. Couldn't drive my car. That was a big thing. For a lot of the times I was off, it was simply because, you know what, I just can't drive. It's as simple as that. You know, if I get up on my feet, grand, no problem at all. It was getting to work was the big problem. Stupid little things like that there that should not be stopping you from living your life. That's where I was at. So thankfully now I'm on the far side of that, and I'm not blind to the fact, even though I have to wear glasses, I'm not blind to the fact that this problem, again, is always going to be something I'm always going to have. And one of the simplest ways I put my back out one time was I worked the whole week at work. Friday evening, got home. I was in pain, but got through the day. You know, fairly heavy work throughout the day. That evening, I was making a cup of coffee after my dinner, and literally all I did was this. The kettle was just behind me, kind of to here. I turned, I guess here, turned at the waist to lift the kettle. As soon as I grabbed hold of the kettle and lifted it off the counter, that was it. Back was out again. That was an hour. That injury took me out for about 3 months at that stage. So I'm not going to get preachy. Don't know everything about it. I'm just offering my take on the whole thing, my journey. And again, if anybody is in this similar situation, you know, isolation is a huge part of it as well. It takes you out of the game, takes you out of friendship circles. Ironically for me, it wasn't the painkillers that done any of that. We'll get into that in the next video. But if you are in the throes of this at the moment, and you are feeling that isolation, you're scared to talk to anyone, I'm here to listen. This isn't one of these channels that's, you know, going to try and bum this stuff up and then try and screw money out of you at some point. That's not me. I am simply a person that's gone through it, has got out the other side of it, has a little bit of that inside look into the situation. And if you are watching this video and you're a person that's feeling the strain, you're scared to talk to somebody, you maybe even be scared to talk to your parents or your wife or, you know, your kids. You never know what your situation is. I'm here. I've lived it. I've been through it. Completely understand where you're at, and I'm willing to listen, because that's one thing I didn't have. I didn't have someone at the beginning, though thankfully one of my friends, a couple of my friends actually, knew about it, gave me a little bit of support. But the big circle of friends that I had at one point, none of those people were there for me. So I can understand the situation you're in. So if you don't want to get into the comments, completely understand that. It's not something you want to put out there publicly, but there's an email, here'srotters@gmail.com. Feel free to jump in there and make a little connection, and I'll gladly talk to you and give you a bit of free support. Again, I'm not trying to make any money off anybody. I just want to help people out, because I wish I had it at one point.